Hello all. Well, I watched Disney Plus Secret Invasion. It was one I had some hopes for. Samuel L. Jackson back, Kobe Smulders, an espionage, paranoid thriller. And it was none of those things, apart from people being back. The best word I can use to describe it is flat. It was uninspiring, not particularly interesting. The acting was bland. The character work was bland. I don't want to say it didn't make sense, because it did, but the motivations just seemed unclear, apart from the very basics. It felt a little bit like we jumped into the middle of a book, and there was a lot of stuff missing, and it wasn't a very interesting book. I'm going to do some spoilers. If you've seen the trailers, you'll know that Okoye's favourite coloniser is back, briefly, for an unremarkable reveal. An unexciting chase, preceded by a scene of incredibly ham acting. I mean, I say everyone else's acting was flat. This guy went to 11. I'm presuming he was supposed to come across as if he was a crazy conspiracy theory, but it was so overplayed. Samuel L. Jackson's called back to Earth because he knows about the Skrulls. He's had a relationship with them, but apparently he buggered off after the click and everyone returned because he was broken by it. Now, I thought he was going to come back. He was kind of pretending to be a broken old man, you know, the broken old man trope again. But he still had his Nick Fury thing, and he still knew what was going on, and he still had his finger on the pulse. There are elements of that, then there are elements of him having no clue what he's doing. Basically, a bunch of Skrulls don't want to stay hidden. They want to convert the world into a new Skrull planet so they can live as their true selves instead of hiding. It's not dissimilar to Doctor Who, Season 9, Episodes 7 and 8, The Zygon Invasion and Zygon Inversion. But what could have been this paranoid thriller about Skrulls infiltrating governments, infiltrating high places, kind of just ends up being another bunch of terrorists. It may well be that will develop further down the line, but it seemed very lackluster and uninspired in its storytelling. Emilia Clarke's in it, and she plays Talos's daughter, who has turned to the dark side, but apparently her mother was killed by the people she's now with. So that supposedly creates a conflict, but again, it fell flat. I don't know why. These are good actors, but there's just nothing there. It's hollow. So stuff happens. We meet Olivia Colman. I mean, they've got an Oscar winner. This is what they put her in, this bland show. And she plays a member of MI6 who's got a relationship with Nick Fury from the past. And to be honest, she kind of just plays herself. The Skrulls want to get a dirty bomb to blow up in Moscow to create a war for some reason, even though people will know it's the Skrulls, so I don't get that. So, tra-la-la-la-la, lots of talking, lots of exposition. A lot of sitting around talking about stuff rather than actually showing or doing it. And it all goes horribly wrong. The bombs go off and Maria Hill gets shot and dies. And that should be impactful. But again, meh. Yeah, whatever. It's a real shame. This could have been something good. This could have been something smart. Oh, and they also decide to interject racism, which has never been part of Nick Fury's character at all. But it seems to be that whenever they have a series starring a black character, they always have to bring race into it and racism into it. It's like they have Tourette's for any black character on the screen, and they just have to do it. And as they did with Falcon and Winter Soldier, they end up completely contradicting themselves. There are comments about Nick Fury walking around Moscow at night, and there's lots of people staring at him. But the Skrulls, many of which take the appearance of black or mixed race people. So where does that make sense? Maybe they're trying to make some sort of commentary about Skrulls being something, but it's just so tiresome. Not every story that involves a black character has to have race being a part of it. Final thing, which is weird because I should have said this at the beginning, the title sequence is generated by AI and it is ugly and murky and just a mess, and again, boring. Now, if you want to use AI art and AI generated graphics, fine, I've got no major problem with that generally, but this is a Marvel Comics story-ish. It's not really that story, because in the story they copied superheroes, not just general people. But you've literally got the comic. You've literally got a company that this is all based on that creates visual art. And this is what you go with. It feels like it's a spit in the eye for all those creators. This is what's coming. Don't really need you anymore. Just a very weird choice. Apparently the director said it was to kind of give a sense of unease, but it's just this sludgy mess. So yeah, feeling this is going to be another epic fail from Marvel and the MCU. Really don't know what they're doing. Really don't know what Disney are doing. They're destroying this magnificent brand. Both the comics and the MCU. It's such a shame. There were so many great films and great comics, and now we don't seem to be getting either. Anyway, I shall leave that there. I think I've probably depressed you enough for the night. Thanks very much for listening. If you've watched it and have any thoughts, please share them, and like and subscribe. Thanks again, and peace out.